First on my list in random order is 6 Samurai, ideally not the structure deck. But if you don't have the deck, then yes, just use the structure deck. In a simplified format, this deck is even better. It sets up an amazing board going first of spell negates, monster negates, and many more interactions. We also have good enough room for hand traps. We have Gateway, one of the most broken spells in the game, allowing you to infinitely summon 6 samurai monsters to link them off for end board pieces. Overall, this deck will have the best end board for this event, so you can't go wrong with it. As I said, you can use either this version or the structure deck. Next we have Gladiator Beast. The deck is basically full power, so the end board is extremely good, as well as good enough room for hand traps. Solid going second, so overall very good deck for the event. It does the usual of recycling editor to summon big boss monsters from your extra deck to have negates on board. And in this more simplified format, this is basically too much for most decks to handle. Jurrac, also a structure deck, also one of the best for this event. However, if you have the cards, it'll be better if you can build it on your own. This deck generally sets up 3 to 4 board wipes, which is insanely broken for this event, especially since it's a lower level format. Generally you only need 1 board wipe to win, but you can set up 3, definitely one of the best decks for this event. You have a lot of room for hand traps as well. You have mist to protect from any and all hand traps. You simply can't go wrong with this one. While this deck was slightly hit, Salamangreat is still top tier for this event. We can still end on a board wipe if we open Code of Soul or Sinnet Mining to search it. Other than that, this deck does the usual Salamangreat stuff of searching either Roar or Rage, recycling Gazelle, having amazing follow-up every turn, and generally just controlling the duel. It even has a very solid OTK line, a lot of extenders, and good enough room for hand traps. And finally, we have Blind Second Sky Striker, as good as ever. You wait for your opponent to build a board, then you watch it crumble next turn, while you set your Widow anchors to control the duel from there, gaining unlimited advantage with engage every turn. While Sky Striker doesn't really play many hand traps, it does play board breakers, and in this format they're very good to break boards. So finally we have an event where your favorite pet decks are meta. Shout out to these amazing people for the great support. Click the link in description to become a member. Make sure to subscribe if this video helped, join my Discord to chat with a like-minded community, and maybe consider becoming a channel member.